Coverage on the channel. Craftsman Truck Series Racing coming your way. Second to last race of the regular season, and here today we have to have a great day to clinch the regular season title with a third place finish no matter where Chad McCumbee ends up finishing. Therefore, if he ends up winning the race, we do have to finish third to clinch the regular season title a race early. As far as trying to clinch the regular season title a race early on Zach Van Dyke as well, we would have to finish 7th or better if he were to win the race. So there are two drivers that are in contention still for the regular season title. It may come down to the final race. With this being a shorter regular season, I think that's why it kind of played out like that. That and the fact that I've had only one finish outside the top 10, but it was the 27th. Then we had a 10th just a couple races ago at Texas. 3 straight wins, though, coming into today's race. Bristol, Richmond, Dover on the short tracks. So far, so good, but we're back on the intermediate tracks here today at Darlington, so we'll see what we can do. And we are starting 7th, so a good qualifying effort. 29.125 was the qualifying time. Without further ado, let's get into the race. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more NASCAR content for today's action. Green flags in the air. We're underway. 146 laps, our scheduled distance here this evening. 200 miles. And a great initial start. From 7th, got a shot to go for 3rd. A little contact already with Chad McCumbee. That didn't take long. A little rub and run. Hey, I'll take 4 positions on lap 1. Shahir Gaming and Entertainment. Wade, thanks for tuning in. All right, settle in here. We're already ahead of the 2 guys that we need to beat. So, that's good. We end up clinching the regular season title race early. I'm still going to be running at Homestead tomorrow because obviously if we win, we get 5 playoff points. So there would be something to race for there. Yeah, I got the Metallica shirt on. This is the only one I own right now. It's hardwired. It was the first time I went to see them. Excuse me, it was soon after that album dropped. So it's one of the tour shirts. It's got all the dates on the back of it. That I haven't changed since I got done working out. So that's why the sleeves are cut off of it. This is a workout shirt now. The only time I wear this shirt out in the public is if it's like colder outside and I have my flannel on over top of it. Not confident enough to rock the sleeveless shirts even when it's 90 degrees outside like it is today. Even at work, when I work in a warehouse and it's extremely hot. Oh, got blocked into the wall. And the 6th of Travis Quapple. Patrick Shadley, thanks for tuning in. There you go. Got to run on Quapple to the inside. I accidentally spun him at Dover yesterday. Well, I raced him very hard. I didn't intentionally spin him, but I did mean to make significant contact, and a result, I ended up spinning him. So glad he's not a rival. Little slide job here into 1 and 2. Got the lead. That did not take long. 6 laps to go from 7th to 1st. I'll take that. Notification made your work afternoon better. Well, there we go. I was looking forward to this. I love Darlington. And I love you guys. My NASCAR family. My family away from my family. I've had a mental fog throughout most of the day. I don't know what it is that made me feel so rejuvenated. Honestly, I think it's hopping back on the creatine again. I think that's kind of clearing my brain out a little bit. I get that in my system. I was going to say my heart starts racing 100 miles an hour. That's not, that wasn't the case. That would have been an exaggeration. It's so chalky. It's like, it's hard not to feel a little bit of a All right, here we go. It's kind of like the swallowing version of like a smelling salt. Like I'm actually intaking it in my system rather than just like huffing something. Ethan, thanks for tuning in. Want to see a cleaner race? Yes, I definitely need to be better today. Although, I'm not going to blame it all on me. I mean, they were racing the absolute crap out of me the last 2 nights with the Cup race at Martinsville, last night at Dover. Last night wasn't as bad by the AI, but it was tough, and I was getting frustrated. But we still got the win, which is all that matters in the end. It didn't cost us anything. Mark Jess, thanks for tuning in. Kind of pulling away from these guys just a bit. Giving ourselves some breathing room. 0.8 of a second lead. It's not big by any means, but kind of averaging just over 1/10 of a second a lap faster. I'm curious to see what the tire wear is going to look like. I did make some adjustments post-qualifying. I didn't practice, but when I got into qualifying, the truck felt a little tight. So I took a half round of wedge out of it. I blimped the air pressure up a couple pounds all the way around. So I'm starting more free than what I was in qualifying. The hope is that I don't get too loose by the end of the run. We'll have to wait and see how that works out for us. We do have 2 sets of tires. I'm not sure if this is going to be a 1 or a 2 stop race yet. I can see this being 1. It's only 200 miles. But we had a 200-mile race at Dover yesterday on a 1-mile racetrack, and that was a 2-stopper. So that would lead me to believe, the speeds being a little bit quicker here, that we're going to be burning slightly more gas. Quicker straightaway speeds, I guess, over the course of the entire run if the tires do start to fade quite a bit. I don't think we're collectively going to be as quick by the end of the run as what we were at Dover. I don't think that would factor into the fuel conservation as much. Pam Hall, welcome to the stream. You're not that late. Only on lap 14. I left my water downstairs. Excuse me. I got my protein bar stuck in my throat right now. I can feel like there's like a little crumb that I didn't swallow completely. It's just hanging in the back of my throat. Swallow my own spit's not good enough to wash it down. I'll tough it out. Unless it gets too bad. I start hacking up a lung or something, I'll go down to get my water. I really don't feel like pausing it. Maybe if we catch a caution or something, I'll head down. Although we haven't seen many yellows in the Truck Series season, so I don't know that we're necessarily guaranteed any. Could be a pretty straightforward race. Halfway at lap 40, pit at lap 80. I mean, we'll see. We raced at Darlington last season, obviously, but I don't know how far we were able to go on fuel. It's just been so long. It was so early in the season. When I picked NASCAR 08 back up again, we were pretty late in the truck season. The first one. I saw there were some NASCAR YouTubers that had an early copy of NASCAR 25. They were able to play the game. I haven't seen any of the feedback for the most part. In depth, at least, other than a couple of posts that I saw on X. Well, they were more posted in other people's community tabs, but the post that they had put out was on X. Like Jeff Fabiano, I forget, there was somebody else, I had no idea who it was, but I did not get an early copy. I don't have that kind of pull. So that is yet to be determined on what I think of the game until we get that early release. Alright. Yeah, still slowly extending the lead. I was wondering if it was going to just kind of flatline. It hasn't done that at this point. I have a tendency to make it flatline a lot. Truck's gripping up nicely. Just ran my fastest lap of the race on lap 20. That's pretty impressive. At Darlington, 28.878. So at least in 20 laps, I haven't seen much tire fall off. And right now, I still got enough grip that I'm able to kind of use those left side tires just a smidge below that hashed line on both ends of the tracks. And it grips up really well. At some point when the tires really start to fall off, I'll probably be too free to run that low in the corner, and that'll start eating away at my lap time. Right now, I'm just glued to this racetrack. My truck can do no wrong. I don't know if it's possible, because again, we have not been into a long run yet. But that'd be pretty cool if I can go this whole race without a Darlington stripe. Considering it's only 200 miles, I don't think it's impossible. Because my truck feels, I'm not lying, I mean, it feels perfect. This might be one of the better handling vehicles I think I've ever had at Darlington on any of these EA games. I mean, I've had some fast cars here, don't get me wrong, but this thing is just, it's fast. The drivability of it is pretty darn perfect. I mean, about as close to it as I could get. Not enough that I'm going to be making any adjustments when I get into the pits for the first time. If we did get an early caution, though, I actually want this to play green until we at least get to halfway out of gas. And then I could gauge on whether or not I would pit if we catch a caution, because I don't want to put myself back in traffic at all. That's where things can get tough for us. I had a good enough qualifying effort that 7th place was good to go. I made slight contact with Travis. Oh, no, you know what? I did get against the wall once. I forgot about that. Never mind, I did get a Darlington stripe. I got it a couple laps in when I was battling for the lead with Quapple because he blocked me into the wall on the straightaway. I tried to slip to his outside because he was pretty slow getting up off the exit of one of the corners, and he moved up on me. And I mean, I guess if you count that as a Darlington stripe, it was me scraping the wall, even though I got forced into it by another car. And it was on the straightaway. So forget what I was saying about having a perfect race with no Darlington stripes. That'd be one heck of a challenge. Stream until I could go a full race at Darlington without hitting the wall. Good luck. If I qualified on pole, and I wouldn't have had to deal with those guys for the first 6 laps before I got to the lead, then maybe. All right, so I hit halfway out of gas at lap 26, coming to 27. So it's going to be a 2-stop race, but it is pretty much even each run. We're going to be going about 50 laps or so per run. We'll definitely end up having to pit twice, use both sets of tires, but we shouldn't have to pit 3 times. So if we do catch a caution before we get to at least 100 laps to go, we're pretty close to that, I would stay out. Still need to get a metallic insurance. Oh, I thought you ordered it already. Yeah, my upper arms are white. That's because I haven't seen the sun in a minute. I got this tan line around my forearms because I still golf every now and then. I've been outside for a few things. Like when I was down in Texas for that whole week. I was wearing short sleeves that week, but that was so long ago now that those tan lines are gone. Yeah, I gotta even out my tan, that's for sure. It's almost the end of summer anyway. I'm gonna be wearing long sleeves here everywhere I go pretty soon. I mean, I already kind of do anyway, but depends on what I'm doing. If I'm outside for a long period of time, that's a different story, but things still looking good. We've got one truck out of the race. And again, to clinch the regular season title, I have to finish at least third. And that would be if Chad McCumbee won the race. He's in fourth place right now. Pretty much has been since the start. My right rear is already starting to wear out on me a little bit. Earlier than I thought it was going to, but we did get past halfway through the run, so I shouldn't have to worry about it being in the red on our tire wear indicator, but I'm sure more tires will probably fall. I wouldn't be surprised if all four tires were in the yellow up at the end of the run. Mark DeMars, welcome to the stream. Basic strategy, yeah, pretty much about 52 laps. The longer I can go on the first two runs, the better that's going to put me at the end of the race because that's less laps on our tires on the final run, which means I'll have more grip to be on offense if we do catch a caution or if we do have some slow pit stops for us. Even if I lose the lead by pitting after everybody else by a few laps, we've clearly got the speed to get it back. I'm all right with losing a couple spots. I just don't want to lose too many. I think the big thing, the more I play this game, the more, to me, when it comes to green flag pit stops, you just got to pick a time that there's nobody down there. So whether that's short pitting or trying to pit after everyone. I tried to pit after everyone yesterday at Dover, and I ran out of gas off turn 2, and that cost me a little bit of time. We eventually ended up getting back to the lead and winning, and luckily that was the first stop and not the second stop. Had that been the second stop, it would have been in a bit more trouble. Wouldn't have had as much time to try to get back to the front. My work day? I mean, I was tired for most of the day, I'm not going to lie. It was tough for me to snap out of it. Completely, at least. Felt like I was just dragging all day. I'm good now. Funny how that works out, but the time I leave and then I go work out, and now my brain's cleared. Place sucks the life out of me sometimes. Back at it again tomorrow. What, your grandparents? Long in the back. Well, at least it was in the back and not the front where it was super long. Especially if it's fenced in, then your neighbors won't know. That'd be pretty funny if somebody half-assed their lawn where they tried to make it look nice from the front, but then they have an enclosed fence area in the back, so you can see the backyard, and that's where the jungle's at. Like, as long as the front looks good, nobody's going to know our yard looks like shit. That's like top-level laziness right there. That's taking laziness to a whole different level. I mean, at that point, if you already got the mower out, you might as well finish it. What's the point of only doing half the yard? The idea of it's funny. There's got to be people out there that do that. Domino's Pizza for dinner. There you go. That's grown on me as probably my favorite chain of pizza place. It was Pizza Hut when I was a kid, but I feel like the more I've had Domino's in the last few years, I feel like Domino's has grown on me a little bit more. I'd probably prefer that out of the chain pizza places. I mean, there's better pizza than that I've had at other, like, local places, but if I had to, like, if I'm out on the go, for instance, when I went to the Royal Rumble last year in Indy, everywhere was closed, basically. When we got back to the hotel, it was damn near midnight, and the only places that were open were a few chain places, so I made sure that we got Domino's while we were at the hotel. So my favorite pizza is Buddy's Pizza up in Detroit. I was just there when I went to Raw a couple of weeks ago up in Little Caesars Arena. Shout out to Buddy's Pizza. If you guys are ever in the Detroit area, I highly recommend it. They've got several of them. It's just a Detroit chain. Family owned. Got a handful of them in the Detroit metro area. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to be making any adjustments when we make our first stop. 3.5 second lead. Nobody's pit yet. Love Domino's myself. CC's. Oh, man, I forgot about CC's. I don't know. I probably had it. It's been a while. Papa John's ain't bad either. I mean, they're all good in their own right for the most part. Like, even Little Caesars, like, people crap on it because it's, like, probably at the bottom of the barrel of the, like, franchise pizza places around the U.S., but at the same time, it's so cheap, you know, you pretty much know what you're paying for. $5, get a large pizza, call it a day. I think they're still $5. I haven't been to Little Caesars in a while. $5 hot and readies. $5 for a large piece of pizza? Can't beat that. Especially if you're in a pinch. Yeah, I mean, it's not like to die for or anything, but it's good for what it's worth. I mean, you get $5 pizza anywhere else, I doubt it tastes as good as Little Caesars $5 pizza. $7.99, jeez! Where have I been? Tells you how long it's been since I've legitimately bought Little Caesars myself. What about the 4-square deep dish? Is that still $5 then, or is that probably $7.99 too? Inflation's getting the best of us, although it could be a little bit cheaper where I live versus where you live. It's probably not $5 anymore though. Pizza. As someone who goes up to Detroit very often, Illich family owning the Detroit Red Wings and my Detroit Tigers. Gotta shout out Little Caesars, give them some love from time to time. Oh boy. Yawing out the corners just a bit. 48 laps on the tires, getting towards the end of the fuel run. I'm gonna pit at lap 50 is gonna be the play. Although I should probably just come in now. Well, I'm just going to come in now. There's only 2 cars on pit road. Actually, both of them are out of the race. I'll be the first in. First in, first out. All right. I'm on my way. On my way. All right, I made it. I was sliding a little bit trying to get down to the bottom. This is a tough pit road to get onto in most NASCAR games. It's just pretty narrow. Pit lane's just so far from the top of the racetrack on the racing line. Old surface. Deep dish is $8.99. Oh my gosh. What are they doing? It was a lot better when it was cheap. All this pizza is making you want pizza. Well, there you go. I mean, get pizza tonight. Treat yourself to whatever the finest is. I always say support your local pizzerias, but I don't know if you've got any great ones around where you live or not. But Pizzeria Luigi, California. I haven't really tried any local places outside of Detroit and Toledo. If I ever go to Chicago, like I've been through Chicago, but I haven't actually stopped there. Well, I went to Chicagoland Speedway, but I didn't actually go into Chicago. I just pretty much stayed in Joliet. But I never scoped out like a pizza place there or not. So if I ever end up actually going to Chicago for something, maybe next time I go to Chicagoland Speedway, they end up bringing that back, then on a regular basis, I'll end up trying something then, but should probably try that more often. There's got to be some good hole-in-the-wall pizza places. I mean, it's probably like that for any kind of restaurant, though, really. I have not had Hungry Howie's, no. There's none around where I live specifically, and every time I go up to Detroit, I'm not going to pass up Buddy's. So I just haven't had it. Because there's more in Michigan, like on my way up to Detroit, I pass up the highway on 75 all the time. But yeah, I got to get Buddy's Pizza every time I go to Detroit. First Metallica song was Black, and I don't know what my first Metallica song was. It was probably something off the Black album. Either that or Fuel. Probably Fuel, just because that was so early in my childhood, with it being on NASCAR and NBC on their broadcast. That was probably the first Metallica song I ever heard, or at least, you know, knew word for word from a really young age. So I would have only been a couple years old. So I would probably guess that that was my first, but I couldn't tell you for sure. I can tell you my favorites, but I couldn't tell you my first. Hungry Howie's in Cleveland when you were little. That's probably a go-to. Chaos 17, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, Enter Sandman was probably up there too. I'm sure that was towards the top of the list of ones that I knew before I actually started getting into Metallica. Those are songs that I've heard. Didn't like the music video. I don't know that I'd really care for any music videos anymore. I don't really watch the music video when I listen to music, even for the first time if I'm discovering a band. Very few bands that I feel like you have to. On bands that I listen to, if you're listening to Ice Nine Kills, I feel like you have to watch the music video because the song makes more sense. But they base their songs off of horror movies, so you can kind of get it if you're a horror movie fan. I'm not. So watching the music video kind of does its due diligence. That, and they explain obviously what's going on in the song in the music video at the same time, so they do a pretty good job with that theatrically. So there's that, and then another one, Electric Callboys, another band I listen to, but that's just more for the hilarity of it. The songs are just stupid funny that you have to watch the music video when you listen to the song for the first time. Because otherwise, if you just listen to the song for the first time, you'd be like, well, that's catchy, but I don't understand why they're singing about stupid stuff like elevators. And it's like, well, you gotta watch a music video. It makes more sense. Or a fan am I? Sometimes, sometimes not. Yeah. It's almost spooky season if you think about it. I've been getting more into Halloween as I've gotten older. I didn't really care for it much, like growing up. I mean, when you're a little kid, yeah, because you go trick-or-treat and stuff, but I grew out of that phase. You know, I didn't really give two hoots about Halloween. And then the last couple of years, I've dressed up on the channel, so I already know what I'm going to end up being again this year, so... Well, I should say again, because I haven't done it before. I'll keep it a surprise. I do want to keep it pro wrestling based on a year-in, year-out basis, but I'm going to start changing my pro wrestler, because I've done Mick Foley 2 years in a row, so I'm not just going to keep recurring that over and over again. I've got a good one for this year, though. I'm excited for it. The pro wrestling nerd in me. It's another reason why I got to get into my my peak physical form so I can fill out the suit that I'm going to get. Because I don't want to look, you know, keep me looking scrawny. So this dude was massive in real life. They do him justice. First rock song? Yeah, see, I wouldn't be able to... My parents listened to classic rock growing up, so I've always been engraved with rock music in my ears from an early age. Guided me in the direction of music that I listen to now, that's for sure. So the field got bunched back up together quite a bit through the green flag pit stops. We do have about a 1.7 second lead now. We had a 3.5 second lead before we pitted. Even with pitting first, gave up some time. Most of that was because of the speed glitches behind us, from what I could tell. How many horror films are like 28 Days Later? See, I've heard of that, but I don't know of those movies. Like, I've seen very few horror movies. I'm not a big movie person in general. Don't like movies that scare you at all? Goof songs. Yeah, there's a... I showed, actually, when I was coming back from Monday Night Raw a couple of weeks ago, I was showing some of Electric Callboy's songs. I'm like, you gotta watch the music video, though, when you listen to the song for the first time. So you got the comedy side of it real quick. But then the song's super catchy, too, so it's got replay value. It's not like, oh, well, that was stupid. It was funny, but it was stupid. I'm not going to listen to it. It's like, no, it's catchy enough that you end up listening to it again. I mean, there's some bigger artists out there that had some funnier music videos back in the day. Like, wasn't Eminem pretty big for, like, having some, like, comedy stuff going on in his early music videos? I don't know if he still does that anymore or not. I don't really listen to his music. But I know of, like, some of the classics from, like, the early 2000s. That was the case. There's some, I know there's some Foo Fighters songs out there that their music videos can be kind of funny, too. It's the cheesy comedy. Learn to Fly is one of them. David Grohl basically just plays like every character in the music video. Everything from old lady to himself. Just everything in between. Pilot. Stressed out the whole time for the movies. I haven't seen enough of them to really feel like I've been scared watching a horror movie. It's easy for me to turn my brain off to knowing that what I'm watching isn't real, which is a complete opposite of what I do with professional wrestling. I train myself to, it's like, yes, in the back of my head, I know it's not real, but if I think it's real, it's more entertaining to watch, which would probably be that way with horror movies if I stopped thinking too hard about it. Tried to guess what's coming next. Just turn my brain off and watch it, and I'd probably actually enjoy it a little bit more for what it is. Just ran my fastest lap of the race. Not by much, just over 100th of a second. 28.863 is now the fastest lap. Just about halfway. One more lap and we'll be halfway home. Still one more pit stop to go. $50 miles per hour. That doesn't sound like a zombie to me. Oh, now we drop down into the 28.7. It's 28.776. Heel Cena was awesome. So I'm in the contrarian that I actually like Cena's heel run too. I don't mind them turning him back face. I just don't like the way they did it. It was just that pure randomness on an episode of SmackDown after Cody Rhodes put him through a table signing the contract. I'm like, that's it? That's all it took? What about the fans? Acted like he despised them for months and then, no, we're cool again. What? Doesn't make any sense. I mean, wrestling doesn't make any sense at the same time, but yeah, I don't know about that. I didn't like the way they went about it. As far as Seth Rollins and his faction, I mean, I don't mind it. I'm a huge Seth Rollins guy, so maybe that's why I don't mind it. I know the cash-in itself, if you're a CM Punk fan, I can see why you hate it. My buddy's a CM Punk fan. I keep trash talking to him about it. He's like, I'm well aware. I feel like Punk's gonna end up taking the title away from Rollins at some point. I think that's where the story's gonna end up going, and he's gonna be rubbing it in my face. But I'm not gonna care as much as what he cared about Rollins cashing in on Punk after he was so elated that Punk had finally gotten the title. I tried to tell him it won't last because I had a feeling there was going to be a cash in. Like, there's no way Punk's winning and going through hell and back in the course of the match for that not to happen. Like, enjoy it. I don't think he enjoyed it enough. I'm not one for being a good sport a lot, but for some reason I feel like playing the heel with Rollins on this. Halfway out of gas already. So we're just a little bit past lap 75. Pitted at lap 49. I just want to time it out so I'm the first to pit road and have a clean pit road entry again. It's not so much the clean pit road entry as much as it is while I'm on pit road and the AI taking over that I can just get in and out of my box cleanly. That's what I care about most with this game in particular. The more I play it, the more we have green flag pit stops. Really trying to strategize all my races that way. As much as I can help it. Certain tracks call for different circumstances, but... And it is a risk if a caution comes out with me being the first truck to pit road, for instance, but... Man, getting on and off of pit road smoothly is huge. Despite, I mean, we could come out mid-pack if we get held up enough. Especially if nearly the entire field all comes down at once like they like to do, or within a couple laps of one another. Wanted Cena to ruin wrestling. I actually had fun with some of his heel promos, though. Like, I get the repetitiveness of it, but there were some zingers that he had on the crowd where he would actually get them to boo him from time to time. It's like they went into the promo cheering Cena, and then by the end of it, about half of them were turned off. They're like, yeah, I can't cheer for some of the stuff he's saying. My favorite one was when they were in Lexington, Kentucky, like the week after the Kentucky Derby, and he was trashing people about basketball not mattering. And they started booing that. He was like, just like horse racing doesn't matter. And yeah, they hated that. That got a big pop out of me. That was hilarious. You can make fun of fans all you want. Those are some of my favorite promos over the years. The Rock was always great at it. Like a lot of that Hollywood Rock stuff back in the Ruthless Aggression era, that was like my favorite Rock. Just trashing the crowd every week. Think tire fall off this weekend at Richmond? I don't see why we wouldn't. We always have tire wear at Richmond. Even with the next gen. Even with the primary tire that the next gen was using those first couple of years, there was still a couple seconds of fall off over a full run. The track is just so old and abrasive. It's kind of the same thing with Darlington where you're just going to have tire wear. It's inevitable. So Richmond, honestly, the next gen car, outside of North Wilkesboro with the All-Star race, if we count just the points races, I think Richmond's been the best short track consistently. Just because there is movement through the field. I know it's more strategy-based more than like traditional short track racing is, but the race quality in my eyes has been better just because it's so hard to pass with this car otherwise. So at least you know you're going to get tire fall off and pit strategy, pit once or twice in a stage. Hopefully we get more variety in the strategy than what we did in the second race last year. The way the cautions kind of landed, it was pretty straightforward last season in the second race there. All right. Yeah, that was funny too. Yeah, there was a lot of funny moments that you can pick out with Cena's heel run. That entire pipe bomb promo was hilarious too. There were many moments. Nearly out to a 3.5-second lead again. Oh yeah, the super kick on stand was the best super kick ever in a non-match setting. Yeah, that or super kicking the little girl behind the chef counter, that was up there too. He kicks a kid. DX doesn't care who you are. If you're not down with them, they got 2 words for you. No age limits. Yeah, Busch hasn't been as competitive at Richmond with the next-gen car. You look at his stats there, even with RCR, it's clear and away been Austin Dillon when it comes to Richmond. I'm not going to count Busch out completely of just not having a good run because I do think Austin Dillon's upside's a lot better there. Austin Dillon had a pretty good run at Iowa a couple weeks ago. I'd say better than even Busch did. Just from an unloading speed at times, Dillon was in the back half of the top 10. I don't know if we'll see the race winning speed out of him like we did last year, because we've only really seen that one other time with Austin Dillon at Richmond that I can think of, and that was the 2020 playoff race where he was leading a bunch of laps and it was him and Keselowski. I know Keselowski won that race, but I can't remember if it was 2020 or 2021 where Austin Dillon was very competitive like that at Richmond. You know what? I think it was 2020 because he was in the playoffs because he won at Texas earlier in the season. So yeah, it would have been the 2020 race. He's been good at Richmond most of his career, but those were really the only 2 days where he had race winning speed. I'll be prepared for it, though, that's for sure. I'm not going to be shocked if they don't have the speed just because it's Austin Dillon we're talking about, but in RCR, but it wouldn't surprise me to see him up there because he did win the race last year. And he did have the fastest car, too. It wasn't like he won via a fluke. I know he ended up, having those shenanigans on the last lap with the wrecking Hamlin and Logano in the final corner. But up until the last caution, he had like a 3-second lead. He had that race won. Just blew it on the restart. And then he still technically won the race, but we obviously all know why. Yeah, it was quite literally the best race of his career up until the finish. Like, man, you just wish it wasn't that way. If it wasn't that way, Austin Dillon would have definitely turned some heads that night for the right reasons. All right, well, we've got trucks on pit road. I don't want to run out of gas, so we're going to be pitting this time. And we made it in. 4 tires, full tank of Sunoco race fuel. We'll top off and be good to the end.
Lap 100, keep going.
Yeah, I definitely didn't have as good of a pit stop as I did the last time. Hoping the trucks that are in front of us out there are not on the lead lap. See where we cycle. Still got trucks trying to leave pit road. Obviously, there's one hot on our heels. Oh boy, move up, move up. Take his line away. It's all over us. Travis Quapple down low also. Got a block for my life. Get through this speed glitch and we'll be all right. I don't know how long it's going to last. It might last another lap or so. Ah, can only hold on for so long. Quapple to the lead. I think I just ran my fastest lap of the race, too. He still blew my doors off. 28.462. And at that point, what else do you have to do? .232. Thought it was a one-stop. No, it was a two-stopper. You might have missed. You might have missed the early going of the race or something. Yeah, it was pretty easy two-stopper. Why am I struggling all of a sudden? Like I'm running my fastest laps of the day, and I'm having a tough time trying to catch Travis Quapple. I think there's Van Dyke behind me, too. I have to finish third to win the regular season title. I'd like to think I could still go out here and win the race, but... what is going on with the racetrack? First, the pit stop wasn't as good. And now this. Back into second by Davis. Oh, that's a Darlington stripe. We're right back up again. We keep battling for second like this, and Quapple's going to drive away from us. 40 to go this time by. Got him. Like the way he was just able to slip to my outside that easily. Oh! Charged the entry just a little too hard. All right, that's okay. Got our timing back on the straightaway. He actually got passed on the outside for third. Really want to try to find a way to pass Quaffle cleanly if I can help it, but this is difficult. Truck's getting too tight, probably because I'm in traffic for like the first time in the race. I'm definitely overdriving it a bit, trying to get to him. Mowing the wall down again. Right there. I'm just trying to slip to his inside. If I get under him and hang on through the center of the corner, I think we'll be all right. Somebody blowing up. There we go. Sail it off in there. Oh! Well, that wasn't clean. Oh, I might lose a spot. I lost too much momentum. Oh, held on. We're good. Oh, we're banging into one another. I'm just pushing so hard. All right. I'm back in the lead again. That was a little bit of a fight. I was not expecting to have to deal with that at all today. The entire race up to this point was so easy. I don't know what happened. Oh, then I lost the lead, and then, you know, maybe the truck was too tight because of it, but it just feels like these guys got significantly quicker all of a sudden. I mean, I was running my fastest laps of the race right out of the pit stops. We got past, and they were pulling us. What am I going to do Sunday? The plan right now is to do the NASCAR 08 chase race at Atlanta. So that's the plan. I don't know what time yet, but the plan is definitely to do the chase race at Atlanta. Hopefully do a Sunday and a Monday nighter for the chase, so we do Atlanta and Texas back to back, and maybe there's a chance we clinch the title and end up finishing that season then this weekend. Still 31 laps to go in the race. Keep hitting my marks. I don't like that I'm not going to have as big of a lead as I have had when the tires start to wear in the back half of the run. Because we're going to get to the point where that right rear tire is going to be in the yellow on our tire wear indicator in less than 10 laps. We've only got about a 3 to 4 tenth of a second lead. And this is definitely going to be more of a fight than what the race was up to this point. Now we're starting to get a little bit of separation on everybody else behind us. About time. It's odd to me that this race hasn't had a caution, yet we haven't really lapped anybody outside of the drivers who have fallen out of the race with engine problems. That's it. Chad McCumbie's in 10th, Van Dyke is in 11th. Third or better wins the regular season title if McCumbee wins. And to knock Van Dyke out of the regular season championship picture as well, we would have needed to finish 7th or better if he were to win. So we're in a pretty good spot here to clinch this regular season championship one race early. Hopefully pick up our 10th win. So that'd be 15 playoff points on the regular season title plus the 10 wins. So I bounce off the wall again. I've by far hit the wall more times on this run than I have the entire race combined, and it's not even close. Enjoy the race at Daytona, in your opinion. I will say it seems like the summer race has been better than the 500 the last few years with the next-gen car. And I think a lot of that has to do with the track being slicker, warmer temperatures in the summer. And handling comes into play a bit more than what we've seen for the 500. Then for both Dega races, the track temps are about the same spring and fall, but having a Daytona race, Florida, summertime, it's hot. It's hot, sticky. Kind of leads to, again, like I said, handling issues. You get more handling problems if you put it in the driver's hands more. We tend to see much better super speedway racing as a result of that with the current generation of car, and that's why Atlanta is so huge, because handling is got so much to dictate on who wins and loses that race, more than track position itself. And there's very few tracks like that in general anymore with the next gen, but especially when it comes to drafting style ovals. I mean, night races, they look cooler, that's for sure. There's just something about watching a Saturday night race under the lights. I think in person it's definitely better. As far as what you're going to get from better racing quality, I would say you probably get a better race quality during the day, especially if it's in the summertime, where I mentioned where the weather's warmer, because the track cools down into the night significantly compared to during the day. So if we're talking warmer weather during the summer, I'd rather watch a day race just because I know the race quality is probably going to be better than what it is at night. But that's not to say the night races aren't going to be good. I just think the drivers are going to be more on edge. And there's probably going to be more movement during the day. The track gains grip. They're not losing tires as much. So you're probably not going to see as much movement from front to back. The ethics and the visual outlook on what a night race looks. Yeah, that's it's tough to beat in person. And there's just something about going to Bristol in the nighttime on a Saturday night. I mean, it's a cool feeling. It's just a cool event. All right, 16 laps to go this time by. Almost a 2-second lead. Still caution free. I just lapped my first truck that wasn't out of the race. Probably going to be the only one I catch. I don't see anybody else anytime soon. It's Fletcher who we just got around. We'll be eliminated after Bristol. Well, we don't know who's all in the playoffs yet, so I'll have to hold that. I know the big talking point with SVG winning another race this weekend is how far can he get. I don't see him making it out of the round of 16. Personally, I mean, if he's going to do that, I think he would have to get decent stage points if he doesn't have great finishes, and I don't think he's going to qualify well enough to really be able to do that. And then after that, I just don't, even if he finished like top 15 every race, but not a lot of stage points, he does have playoff points to back up on. If he would need a lot of help, which he could get because there's a tendency to have drivers drop out of the race, obviously. It's probably going to be the weakest link. Josh Berry hasn't really been anywhere near what that 21 team was super early in the season. Cinder kind of the same way, has fallen off. But they could easily turn it right back on again, especially with Gateway being the first round. I would like to think that all the Penske guys are going to be pretty good there. But if SVG does get out of the round of 16, the Roval alone, he could go out, win that race, and he's in the round of 8. Just making it out of the first round is going to be so huge for him. I just don't see that happening. I don't see him getting a top 10 finish. And playoff points are definitely huge for him, I'll tell you that much. He's not going to be in the top 1 or 2 seeds by the time the playoffs start. He's probably going to be more in the middle, that 6 to 8 range by the time playoff points are awarded for the top 10 in the regular season, plus a couple more races left still. I would probably say he's going to be around the 6th seed. He's probably going to use all those playoff points up in the first race, I would assume, which would not be ideal for him. Imagine SVG actually wins the title. That would take a lot. I mean, we go back to Phoenix again, and I don't think a 20th place finish at Phoenix is going to win him the title, even if he made it to the championship 4. I mean, he's getting better, but he's definitely not there. He's better than what he was earlier in the season, but 15th to 20th place finishes, I mean, it's just not going to cut it. got to get those top 10s, and he just hasn't had one yet. All of his top 10s are the 4 wins he's had on road courses. That's it. Well, he had a top 10 at Coda, I think, earlier this year, too. But still, he hasn't had a top 10 on an oval all year. And there's been a couple of races where there's been a war of attrition. He thought that if he stayed in the race, that he could maybe get a top 10, like in Atlanta, and that just wasn't the case. Iowa was another one where, had he made it through, but he wasn't having a very good day that day. I think he actually got involved in a couple of the incidences. If it does click for him on the ovals, for him to, pop up, get a handful of top 10s on ovals throughout the course of the season, I don't see it happening this year. Maybe that's something that happens year 2 or year 3 in. I mean, at that point, you got to treat him like an actual rookie when it comes to the oval racing side of things. 2.5 second lead, 2.5 laps to go at the line. I don't know why I said the line. The back straightaway. There we go. We got 2.5 laps to go. Johnny Benson about to get his 10th win of the season. Things are looking good. Just trying to keep it green, get to the white. It's going to be our 6th caution-free race in the last 7. We had 2 yellows yesterday at Dover. After 5 straight caution-free races, and we're right back to another caution-free race again. And we'll see what Homestead tomorrow night will bring. Another 200-mile race tomorrow. That'll be live for trucks at the Roval. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm not going to be missing any races. Have a Darlington stripe on the final lap. Just for good measure. Checker flag waving. Off turn 4. Johnny Benson, 10th win in just 12 races. What a season. Torrey Hyman got nothing on me. 2.8 second margin to victory. 1 hour, 12 minutes. Total time on the race today. This thing flew by. Without any yellows. I mean, that's been the story of the last handful of races, really. Outside of yesterday. You don't get any yellows. These races are going by quick. What, like the 3rd or 4th race have gotten done in barely over an hour? They're sprints for sure. All right. 127 out of 146 laps led. We led all but 19 laps. We had 7 lead changes, no cautions, 2.8 second margin victory. As mentioned already, 166.12 mile per hour average race speed, 1 hour, 12 minutes, 1 second total time on the race. A win for Johnny Benson. Quapo started on the pole, had 17 laps, finishing in 2nd. Yeah, I don't know how we had 7 lead changes when 2 drivers led all but 2 laps in the race, but all right. I only passed back and forth with Quapo technically twice. He got by me, or I got by him, then he got by me, then I got him back. That was it. And then obviously during green flag stops, probably another 1 or 2 lead changes. Eric Darnell led for 2 laps. All right, Davis. Well, I guess it would have been probably 7 lead changes then, because it was 4 between the 2 of us. 5, and then him losing the lead. It probably was 7. That's probably legitimate. Davis finishes 3rd. There we go. I spit it out eventually. Willie, my gosh. Let me try that again. Davis 3rd. Wilson Eubanks. I forgot his first name. That was part of the problem. I think it's Wilson. I almost said Wilmer like twice. Cleveland, 5th. Ships, 6th. Eric Darnell, 7th. Zach Van Dyke, 8th. Vance, 9th. Craig Kinzer rounds out the top 10. Regular season finale. I've been getting off from work a little bit later this week. By the time I get back from working out, it's just been past 6 o'clock by the time I settle in here and get the stream ready to go. So I'll keep you updated again tomorrow in the community tab potentially, or just in the live stream because it's already good to go. Appreciate you watching. Have a good night, everyone.